The final bell rang through the hallways, signaling the end of another ordinary day at school. Inside one of the quieter classrooms, Kanata, a quiet and notably unpopular boy, was stuffing his books into his bag without attracting attention. That was how most of his school days ended, quietly, uneventfully. Outside, two boys peered through the classroom window, their expressions lighting up when they spotted someone inside. One of them nudged the other. There was a beautiful girl sitting near the window. They muttered to each other about how lucky this class was to have such a cute girl in it. That girl was Marika Chitos. Her presence alone stood out like a rose in a crowd. And to everyone's surprise, including Kanata's, she called out to him. "Hey Kanata. Are you going home? Let's go together." Kanata looked up, somewhat startled, and nodded. "Sure." As Marika turned to grab her forgotten bag from her desk, one of the boys outside couldn't resist teasing Kanata. "Hey, are you her boyfriend?" Kanata, unbothered and expressionless, replied plainly. "Childhood friend." Marika came back moments later, confused by the noise. "What's with all the fuss?" The two boys, now bold enough to enter the classroom, approached her directly. "Want to come to karaoke with us later?" one of them asked. Marika smiled and shook her head. "I already have plans." The other tried to press his luck. "Then how about ramen?" Her response was indifferent. I don't really want to." Kanata watched silently. She was his childhood friend, bright, confident, and unbelievably popular. In comparison, he was nothing but a background character in the story of her life. Later, as the two walked home together, Marika let out a sigh. "Those guys were staring at my chest the whole time. It's so gross." Kanata didn't reply. His silence caught her attention. "What's wrong?" "It's nothing." But in truth, something was wrong. Kanata liked her. He liked her so much that it hurt. But he was so unremarkable, so invisible, that he was convinced she could never feel the same. He couldn't bear the thought of ruining their friendship by confessing. As if to break the tension, a shooting star streaked across the twilight sky. Marika looked up and smiled faintly. "Even though it's dusk, things like this can still happen, huh?" Kanata closed his eyes, clapped his hands together, and made a wish in silence. "I wish to understand other people's affection, just like in a game." The next morning, Kanata stepped out of his room feeling groggy, his strange wish still fresh in his mind. As he headed downstairs, his mom greeted him with a smile. "Good morning." "Morning," he replied, then paused. There was something floating next to her head. A glowing meter. He stared for a few seconds, puzzled. His mom raised an eyebrow. "Why are you looking at me like that?" "No reason." Then their dog Mimiko barked. Kanata looked over and saw another meter, this one floating next to the dog's head. Both meters were full. He brushed it off as leftover sleep delirium and walked to school. But as he passed strangers, he noticed something strange. No meters. Male classmates? Also none. He reached his classroom, and just as he touched the door, he thought maybe it was all in his head. But when he looked inside, all the girls had meters, floating right next to their heads. And none of the boys had any. Could it really be what he had wished for? A love meter? A classmate, Mikasa, called out. "Hey Kanata. Why are you just standing there?" Kanata glanced at her meter. It was halfway full. Curious, he decided to test something. "There's something in your hair," he said, gently brushing it away. Mikasa blushed. Thanks." To Kanata's shock, her meter jumped significantly. He blinked in disbelief. Mikasa tilted her head. "Something wrong?" "No, nothing." Another girl approached. Her meter too hovered at half. But when she saw Kanata sitting at the wrong desk, she glared at him. "Why are you sitting on someone else's desk?" Instantly, her meter dropped drastically. Kanata apologized quickly. "Sorry." So that's how it worked. He could see, in real time, how people felt about him. Then he heard the voice he both dreaded and longed for. Marika. As he turned to her, a single thought flooded his mind. If this was really a love meter, then what did she feel about him? He looked. Her meter was cracked, leaking from the bottom. It looked like it was breaking apart. Kanata froze. That was bad. Really bad. Super negative, he thought grimly. He gave her an awkward greeting and sank into his seat, eyes empty, heart shattered. My love life is over. After school he was still miserable. The thought that she might only be nice to him out of obligation gnawed at him. Marika found him again. You look really down. What's wrong? He hesitated. It's nothing. It's that cursed meter next to your head, he thought bitterly. She leaned in with a gentle smile. Cheer up. I like the energetic Kanata. He forced a smile. I'm fine. She brightened. Are you free after this? A while later, the two of them were sitting on a park bench, each with ice cream in hand. Kanata stared at her, baffled. Why is she acting like this, if her meter was so broken? She looked at his cone. Is that a limited time flavor? Yeah. Can I try it? He turned bright red but nodded. She leaned in, took a bite and licked her lips. It's good. Then she offered hers in return, but before Kanata could taste it, she giggled and ate it herself. Just kidding. She leaned forward and gently poked his nose. You've cheered up. I prefer you this way. Kanata was frozen, his mind spinning. Why is she being so affectionate, if her meter looked so broken? Was the meter wrong? Was it even real? Eventually they parted ways, each going home. But the story didn't end there. That night, in her room, Marika sat on her bed, blushing. A photo of Kanata sat on her desk. Around her, the walls were covered in his pictures. There was even a hug pillow with his face on it. Tears formed in her eyes. She clutched the pillow tight and whispered through her sobs. Why won't you look at me? And then the truth became clear. The affection meter wasn't wrong. Her love for Kanata was simply too heavy. So overwhelming, so powerful, the meter couldn't handle it. Still crying, she wiped her eyes and made a quiet vow. I'll definitely make you notice me, Kanata. The classroom buzzed with idle chatter as students prepared for another long school day, but Kanata couldn't focus on any of it. His eyes were locked onto the ominous sight above Marika's head. That cursed, leaking affection meter. That cursed meter. What on earth should I do? He thought grimly. His gaze drifted across the room to another classmate, Toyotomi, a girl known for being sharp-tongued and distant. Her meter wasn't great either, but compared to Marika's it was at least functional. If this goes on any longer, my school life's gonna be in serious trouble. Her affection is too low. I'll have to raise it. At least get it to the average. With awkward determination, Kanata stood up and approached her. Toyotomi-san. She turned to him, eyebrows furrowed. What is it? He hesitated, then forced a smile. What kind of food do you like? She blinked. That's kinda sudden. Trying to lighten the mood, Kanata added, my favorite food is definitely curry rice. Her face twisted in irritation. I never asked. The conversation crashed and burned. Later, during second period, Kanata remained unfazed. If I keep talking, we'll be friends soon enough, probably. Once again he approached her. She sighed. Again, what do you want? Yesterday, something good happened to me. She cut him off immediately. I don't want to hear it. Still smiling, he pressed on. I got a golden ticket from a Kinder Egg. First time ever. Her face turned red. Are you serious right now? Realizing he was losing ground fast, he panicked. Oh, that's not good enough. Okay, see you later. By lunchtime, Kanata spotted her sitting alone, absorbed in a phone call. His instincts told him this was another chance. He walked up again. Toyotomi looked up, exasperated. This again? Kanata tried to switch tactics. Next class is in the AV room. Want to pair up and work together? She frowned. Why me? He offered eagerly, I'll carry your things. That did it. I said I don't need it. Don't touch my stuff, she snapped, yanking her bag away. Her meter visibly dropped. Things got worse during fifth period. Kanata approached once again. Toyotomi-san. Before he could finish, she spun around, cornered him, and slammed her fist into the wall beside his head. What the hell is wrong with you? Got an issue? Kanata stammered, terrified. No, I just... As she stormed off, she growled over her shoulder. Don't push it. Stop talking to me, you nobody. After school, Kanata walked home alone, dragging his feet and his pride. I was just trying to become friends. But that cursed meter stresses me out. And the worst part? I can't do a damn thing about it. Passing a small park, his steps slowed. He remembered this place. He and Marika used to play here when they were kids. A soft whimper interrupted his thoughts. Nearby, a little girl had fallen and scraped her knee. She sat on the path, sniffling. Kanata rushed over. Well, you fell. That must have hurt. Kneeling down, he pulled a small first aid kit from his bag. It's okay, I'll take care of that right away. The girl looked up with wide eyes. Are you a pharmacist? Kanata chuckled. Where'd you learn a big word like that? He cleaned her wound gently and applied a band-aid. Does it still hurt? Can you walk home by yourself? She sniffed. It still hurts. Help me go home. Kanata smiled. You're pretty lively for someone injured. He held out his hand. Okay, let's go home together. As they walked, he tilted his head. She reminds me of someone. Who does she look like? Soon they arrived at a modest home. The girl bounded ahead, shouting, "I'm back, big sis." The door opened, and there stood Toyotomi wearing an apron and holding a ladle. "Mashiro, you're finally home." She noticed Kanata standing behind her little sister. Kanata? Why? Kanata blinked in realization. I knew she looked familiar. She's Toyotomi's little sister. Inside the house, Mashiro was excitedly recounting everything that happened. Toyotomi bowed slightly. Thanks for helping her. It really wasn't a big deal, Kanata replied modestly. Well, I guess I'll go now. But Mashiro tugged on his sleeve. Big bro should eat first, she announced. Big sis's food is super yummy, right? She turned to her sister with expectant eyes. Toyotomi hesitated, then muttered, If you're fine with it, then go eat. I don't really know what suits your taste. As she spoke, Kanata noticed her affection meter rise just slightly. Looks like I'm getting somewhere. Not bad so far, he thought. Well, I guess it won't hurt to try. From the kitchen doorway, he watched her moving around in her apron. She's got a girly side too, he thought, captivated. She glanced at him. You're being distracting. Go away. Okay, he replied sheepishly. Soon, a warm plate of vegetable-filled curry was placed in front of him. Kanata took a bite and his face lit up. This is really delicious, Toyotomi-san. You're awesome at cooking. She blushed. My parents come home late a lot, so I do most of the chores. Kanata looked at her with genuine admiration. That's incredible. You do all the housework and cooking too. That's not true, she muttered shyly. Mashiro happily munched away while Toyotomi gently wiped curry from her cheek. Kanata watched silently. I thought she was scary at first, but she's actually really kind and caring. Don't judge a book by its cover, huh? When the meal ended, Kanata stood up. Thanks for the food. I can't thank you enough. Well, I should get going. He turned and saw Mashiro fast asleep, affection meter at maximum. Toyotomi's meter had risen too. Or two? That's quite the reaction. He took a final glance at Toyotomi. She doesn't talk much at school, but she really cares about Mashiro. He smiled. Thanks again, Toyotomi-san. Just then Mashiro stirred awake, rubbed her eyes and hugged him tightly. Big brother, please come back soon. Big sis thinks so too. Toyotomi turned red. If Mashiro thinks it's a good idea? Then softly, with a glimmer in her eyes, she said, Later, Kanata. Kanata blushed. Sure. See you later. That same evening, Marika walked home under the dim glow of the streetlights. Her steps halted when she spotted something ahead. Kanata and Toyotomi, walking side by side, smiling, chatting, blushing. She ducked behind a nearby pole, eyes wide. What's happening here? Her heart twisted. Kanata-kun and Toyotomi-san, together, at this time of night? The mood, the atmosphere, it screamed something she didn't want to believe. A live-in boyfriend? She gripped the pole tightly, trembling. You thieving cat. And then, her affection meter started to glorp, leaking from the sides. Kanata turned, glancing behind him with a shiver. I feel an ominous presence. In class, Marika was silently brooding over what she saw the day before. Her eyes were fixed on Kanata, but her thoughts were drifting elsewhere. What kind of relationship do those two even have? She wondered. That was Toyotomi's house after all? Are they close enough to visit each other? Just then, Kanata walked into the classroom, completely unaware of the storm he'd stirred. Marika greeted him with a forced smile, about to ask him about yesterday, but before she could get the words out, Toyotomi arrived too. Kanata casually greeted her and, to Marika's horror, Toyotomi greeted him back with a soft tone. Wait, she greeted him? And she said it using only his first name? Marika's heart skipped a beat. She forced herself to ask, How do you know Toyotomi-san? Kanata replied with a smile, We became friends pretty recently. Marika let out a small sigh of relief. Friends? I see. But the momentary calm shattered as her imagination ran wild. She pictured Kanata and Toyotomi tangled up in bed and gasped internally, no way, friends? But that kind of friends. Like, friends with benefits. Her affection meter suddenly splashed violently, startling Kanata. Are you okay? He asked, looking concerned. I don't know what's going on, but it's definitely not good, he thought as he glanced at her unstable meter. Meanwhile, Mikasa, watching from the side, felt a slight pang in her chest. I'm a bit jealous of his friendship with Marika-chan. I need to find something to talk about with him too. Later that day, she managed to strike up a conversation about their pet dogs. It looked like my Shiba, so I just ended up buying the pet, Kanata said. No way. Kitami-kun really has a dog? Mikasa's eyes lit up. Do you have one? Kanata asked. Yeah. A golden retriever, she said proudly. That's nice, I really want to pet it someday. If we ever get the chance, I'll let you, she smiled. The next day during break, Mikasa was walking her dog, her heart light. I'm really happy I got to talk to him. I wonder if I'll see him again while walking. Nah, that's too much to hope for. But then Kanata called out, what a coincidence. He was walking his dog too. Yeah, that's surprising, Mikasa smiled, cheeks warming. Is this a fateful meeting? She wondered dreamily. Kanata glanced at her meter. Her affection had jumped massively. That's the dog we were talking about, right? Yep. Her name's Chocolate. Cute name. Did you name her? Yeah, how'd you know? Just a guess. Sounds like your cute personality if I'm being honest. Mikasa froze. He called me cute. Her face turned red. How can he say that so easily? Is he always like this? Wait, this is just like the shoujo manga I read yesterday. The dogs become best friends and the owners start dating. Could this really be happening? Kanata peeked at her meter again. It was rocketing up. I need to be careful. My heart's set on Marika-chan. I can't let her get too affectionate with me, he thought. Is it okay if I play with Chocolate too? Sure, that's fine. He charged toward Chocolate but deliberately tripped. Oh, my face hurts. Are you okay? She leaned forward. It really hurts, he sulked. But her meter dropped. He's crying too much. This isn't very shoujo heroine-like, she thought with a sweat drop. Kanata checked her meter. Yep, a huge dip. Even if it was on purpose, that's a steep fall. Mikasa-san's pretty emotional, but hey, it worked. All according to plan. Mikasa was about to walk off when Chocolate suddenly dashed forward, tugging the leash. Mikasa stumbled right into Kanata's arms. Are you okay? Yes, she mumbled, completely red. Then she looked down shyly. It'll be bad if I fall again, so, can you hold my hand? Kanata looked at her meter. Now it was completely full. He panicked. I got to play it cool. Act indifferent. Give her the cold shoulder. And no, it's too embarrassing. Mikasa's eyes widened, then sparkled. Another affection meter suddenly appeared and filled halfway. His shyness is so cute. Kanata's inner voice was screaming. What the hell? Why is it still going up? And what's with this second meter? I don't get girls at all. Later, Mikasa went for a run. She stopped for water, stretched, and admired the peaceful park. Such a nice break. As she sipped, she looked down the road. Lots of dog walkers today. But then she saw them. Kanata and Mikasa. Sitting with their dogs. Talking. Smiling. Blushing. She spat out her water. Hiding behind a tree, Marika trembled. Another pairing? You mean to tell me you have that kind of relationship with her too? She gritted her teeth. This can't be happening again. She watched Kanata with intense suspicion. He's always trying to impress the girls. That impression? Is he flirting? Her grip tightened around the tree. Her affection meter rippled and overflowed violently. You spontaneous flirter? Kanata suddenly felt a chill down his spine. What is this sensation? He turned and saw her, Marika, glaring at him with an almost demonic face. She looks really angry. Then he saw it. Her affection meter, it had changed. Grotesque, with a devilish face overflowing with ominous liquid. What is that? Her affection meter. It evolved into something really concerning. Late at night in her room, Marika was grabbing her head, pacing nervously. Tears welled up in her eyes as she panicked. What should I do? She cried softly, falling to her knees. If this keeps going, some other girl's going to take him away from me. Her eyes fell on the love technique book on her table. She lunged for it, flipping it open with desperation. Her eyes scanned over technique number 2. If pushing doesn't work, try pulling. Her lips curled into a devilish grin. The next morning, Kanata was walking to school with a tired face. That meter yesterday, it was terrifying, he muttered to himself. I have to do something, soon. But then he spotted Marika in the school hallway. There she is, but how do I even get her to like me again? During class, after the first period ended, Kanata rested his chin in his hand, lost in thought. I need to do something. Yeah, it scares me, but I'll try my best to patch things up. Later in PE, they were playing basketball. Sweat dripped from Kanata's brow. He caught a glimpse of Marika watching from the sidelines. This is my chance. I'll show her how cool I can be. As the ball was passed to him, he sprinted forward and nailed a perfect slam dunk. Yo, nice dunk, Kidami. His teammate praised. Kanata grinned and looked over at Marika, expecting a blush, sparkles, something. But her face was blank. completely unreadable. Her affection meter, however, was drooling and overflowing like a broken faucet. What the heck is going on with that meter? He thought, visibly sweating now. Marika, meanwhile, had a perfect poker face. If pushing doesn't work, pull, she thought. I have to act uninterested. Make him fall for me. Kanata checked Toyotomi and Mikasa's affection meters. Both had risen a bit. But then he fell to his knees in despair. Why them, and not her? Yo, Kitami, you okay? Did you catch a stomach cramp or something? The teammate asked. After school, Kanata spotted Marika in front of her locker. Should I ask her to walk home together? Nah, she'll just reject me. But Marika noticed him and instantly switched back to her emotionless expression. Wanna go home together? He asked. With a flat voice and a hand gesture signaling, okay, she replied, I'm so excited to go home with Kanata-kun. He blinked. What does that face even mean? As they walked home together, he asked, wanna stop by Starbucks? They got new stuff. Same blank face, same okay hand sign. Is that supposed to be a yes? He thought, exhausted. Soon they were seated inside the shop, sipping drinks. The tea's fantastic, he said, trying to start a conversation. Silence. Marika didn't respond at all. Kanata was screaming inside. We can't even hold a conversation. She must really hate me. Meanwhile, Marika was inwardly swooning. After-school dates with Kanata-kun are the best. The next day, Kanata was fired up. He raised his homemade bento box over his head like a trophy. I'll win her heart with cooking. At school, he called out to Marika. Wanna eat bento together? I made lots for both of us. Marika smiled internally but hesitated. What should I do? Her angel appeared. What about our push-pull strategy? We should say no. Her devil argued, this is a rare chance to eat Kanata-kun's cooking. A dramatic mental battle broke out, and the devil won. I'll eat, Marika said quietly. On the rooftop they sat together. Kanata took a bite. Tastes good today. Now let's see how she reacts. Marika's affection meter was violently blushing and simultaneously vomiting hearts, but on the outside she showed no expression. Her body trembled. It's so delicious, my cheeks are gonna fall off, she thought, practically melting. Kanata-kun, I love you so much, this is too much to handle. Kanata saw her trembling. Oh no, maybe she didn't like it? He began to cry. What do I do now? Maybe I should give up. No. I've loved her since we were kids. I want to become even better friends with her. Then he gathered his courage. Will you go on a date with me? Marika's brain turned into a disco party. Operation success. Of course, she said, eyes half-lidded from joy. But then Toyotomi walked in with her bento. Good timing. She sat next to Kanata casually, and Marika's joy popped like a balloon. Mashiro-chan was saying she misses you. When's Big Brother coming over again? Big Brother? Marika's head exploded with confusion. I'd love to see her again, Kanata smiled. Great. If it's okay, come over next day off. I'll cook something good for you, Toyotomi blushed. Hell yeah, I love your food, he replied. But then he remembered. I have a date with Marika-chan. He looked over. Marika was pouting, her meter now a full-blown Hanya demon face overflowing with rage. Sorry? He said in a panic. Fine. Whatever, she replied coldly, turning her head. Suddenly her affection meter slapped him. Kanata was knocked to the ground, face bruised and nose bleeding. What was that? The meter? Or should I say, Hanya? It actually has a hitbox. Both girls looked at him in concern. You okay, Kitami-kun? Toyotomi asked. Oh yeah? Shouldn't you stop that bleeding? The big day was finally here, Kanata's long-awaited date with Marika. The night before, he was pacing in his room, eyes burning with determination. Tomorrow I'm going all in. I'll make her fall for me, and I'll do something about that Hanya. The next morning they met up at the aquarium. Kanata stared at Marika in awe. Her outfit is insanely cute, he thought, cheeks pink. But that thing next to her is terrifying. He glanced at her ever-morphing affection meter. It pulsed ominously like some monster from a horror movie. He wanted to hold her hand. He really wanted to. But his fingers twitched nervously. Still, he gathered his courage, grabbed her hand gently and said, let's go. Marika blushed hard, surprised by how direct he was today. He's being really forward. Inside they admired the white seals. Marika's eyes sparkled as she watched a mother seal playing with her baby. She smiled softly, remembering how she used to carry around a stuffed seal when she was little. Then they moved on to the penguins. They're so cute, Marika thought. Nah, there's too many of them. Look close and they're kinda creepy, Kanata muttered. They moved from tank to tank, admiring schools of colorful fish. Kanata glanced at Marika again and felt his heart squeeze. She looks so amazed, she's adorable. He fantasized for a moment, putting his hand on her shoulder like in a manga scene, but hesitated. She noticed him spacing out. Is something wrong? She asked. Nothing. He stammered, mentally kicking himself. I'm such a coward. As they talked about their aquarium experience, two delinquent girls bumped into Kanata and told him off. Watch it, loser, one said. Their affection meters were near zero. Marika immediately stepped in front of him protectively. One of the girls grabbed Marika by the shirt. You're a second year, right? What a coincidence. Kanata trembled but then took a shaky step forward. Hey, leave her alone. Marika's heart skipped. He's so cool and cute. He's weak but he still tried to protect me. Her heart was fluttering. One delinquent slung her arm around Kanata. Come on, you're coming with us. Don't tell me you've never had a girl before? Her affection meter ticked up slightly. That's your reason. He blinked. Wow, that's your taste in men? Seriously? The second girl said. That's kind of a cruel thing to say, Kanata winced. But Marika stepped forward with deadly eyes. Let's make this aquarium more exciting. She pulled out her secret technique book, smirking. I know everything about you too. She turned to the first girl. Last week you were singing full volume in your bath. Your neighbors filed a noise complaint. The girl froze. And you, Marika turned to the other, you confessed to a guy in the sumo club and got rejected, didn't you? They were hit harder than any punch. Both girls ran away, mentally destroyed. Kanata stood there frozen. What in the manga world was that? Thanks, Marika. He smiled. You looked really cool, Kanata-kun, she said softly. Suddenly, an announcement came over the speakers. The dolphin show is starting soon. They ran to get seats. Marika watched the dolphins swim and sink. Those two dolphins are totally a couple. Then the dolphins leapt into the air, soaking the audience. The staff looked confused. Why are they acting like this today? Kanata stood up, dripping wet. But his backpack wasn't just for show. He had spare towels and clothes packed. Marika looked at his t-shirt. Kanata's t-shirt. Let's go change. Meet up after, he said. Later, when Kanata came back, Marika was already waiting wearing his t-shirt. Kanata blushed furiously. That's way too cute. Marika, meanwhile, was drooling inside. Kanata's t-shirt. They talked as they walked to the bus stop. That was so fun, the whole day flew by. Suddenly Kanata gasped. Wait here, I'll be back. He ran off. When he returned, he held out his hands. Here. Hold out your hands. She did, and he placed a tiny plush seal in them. I saw how much you liked the seals, so I bought one. Marika's eyes widened in joy. Her affection meter rumbled like thunder, sprouted angel wings and even a halo. Kanata stared at it in awe. Is that a good thing? I'll treasure both the seal and the t-shirt, Marika said sweetly. The t-shirt too. Kanata choked. The next morning they walked to school together. Even if her meter's still sludgy and weird, I feel like we've closed the gap, Kanata thought with a small smile. But just behind them, hidden in the shadows, a mysterious girl watched the couple, smiling slyly and plotting something. Hey everyone. I'm just 400 subscribers away from hitting my 1,000 subs goal. Your support means the world. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and help me reach this milestone.